38, I stood before the mirror, and each glance revealed a singular source of pride that ignited a fire within me. Time had treated me well. Through the rhythm of regular workouts, the careful application of skincare, and the embrace of a healthy lifestyle, I discovered the secret to maintaining a youthful and captivating allure. Sebastian often whispered sweet words of my beauty, but in the shadows of his absence, as he chased his relentless job, those compliments would fade into the silence, leaving me to wonder if they were ever real at all. As dawn broke, Sebastian slipped out into the crisp morning air, setting off for work before the world fully awakened. The house lay in a hushed stillness, a serene sanctuary where I could immerse myself in the depths of my thoughts. As the day drew to a close, I felt the weight of the world pressing down on me, compelling me to seek solace in the warm embrace of water. I stepped into the shower, ready to wash away the remnants of the day. The soothing embrace of the warm water wrapped around me, a gentle reminder of the power of self-care, always worked wonders for my weary soul. As I entered the bathroom, I carefully applied the face mask, feeling the cool texture against my skin, before stepping into the cascading warmth of the shower. As the water enveloped me in its warmth, I fought to silence the chaos swirling in my mind. As the steam from the shower began to dissipate, I chose an outfit that made me feel strong, something to remind myself I still had control. Red had always captivated me. For a fleeting moment, I felt a dangerous rush of adrenaline, one I knew I'd regret. As I toweled my hair dry, my gaze fell upon the bathroom mirror, where I carefully peeled away the mask from my face, revealing the truth beneath. As I gazed into the mirror, a haunting thought flickered through my mind. Sebastian would have longed to witness me in this moment. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for more enthralling tales from real life that will draw you in. Stay with us through to the final moment, for this tale promises to be nothing short of captivating. In that fleeting instant, Caleb's return slipped from my mind entirely. Sebastian's son had returned, emerging from the shadows of his struggles, yet I found myself grappling with the weight of his presence, still unaccustomed to the shift it brought. The house felt like a world of its own, a quiet realm where only Sebastian and I existed. In the stillness, I had almost forgotten he was even there, a shadow in the corners of my mind. The abrupt creak of the door swinging open jolted me from my reverie. Caleb stood at the edge of the world, the wind whipping through his hair, a storm brewing in the distance. Every heartbeat echoed with the weight of his choices, and the shadows of the past loomed large behind him. He took a deep breath, ready to face whatever lay ahead. A scream clawed at the back of my throat. Caleb stood at the threshold, his gaze averted, grappling with the weight of the moment as the tension thickened around him. Oh, Vivian. My heart aches with regret. The door creaked open, revealing the shadows that lurked beyond. I was about to step into the shower. His voice trembled, laced with a deep sense of embarrassment. Our gazes collided, and the gravity of that instant enveloped me. My hand shot out toward the towel, but the moment had slipped away, leaving me vulnerable and exposed. Caleb's face burned with a vivid crimson, while my emotions were a tempest, impossible to control or understand. Caleb, have you ever considered the importance of knocking? I spoke, struggling to maintain a calm facade, yet my voice trembled with uncertainty. Yeah, sorry, he muttered, urgency lacing his voice as he swiftly shut the door behind him. Yet, what had transpired was irrevocable. In those fleeting seconds, the fabric of my existence unraveled, casting my world into chaos. Could this really be an accident, or was there something more sinister at play? But why was my heart racing so wildly? The moment Caleb laid eyes on me, a thrilling rush ignited within me, stirring emotions I had never anticipated. A rush of embarrassment washed over me, yet beneath it all, a flicker of intrigue ignited within. I couldn't help but feel drawn to the thrill of the moment. I struggled to regain my composure and shut the door. Yet my thoughts were ensnared in the vivid memory of stepping out of the shower, and the way Caleb had gazed at. In that moment, I felt an unsettling wave of vulnerability wash over me, leaving me utterly exposed. How peculiar! A rush of embarrassment washed over me, yet an exhilarating thrill coursed through my veins. For a time, I remained blissfully unaware of the unfolding chaos around me, As I approached the mirror, a wave of confusion washed over me, engulfing my thoughts and blurring the line between reality and reflection. I gazed at my reflection, the red lingerie hugging my curves, radiating an alluring glow. Despite the passage of time, my body retained a youthful allure, a captivating blend of experience and vitality. At 38, I found myself reflecting on the years that had shaped me, each one a chapter filled with unexpected twists and turns, leaving me surprisingly unscathed and even thriving. It was more than merely my body. My eyes sparkled with life. My hair flowed like a cascade of silk, and everything about me radiated an undeniable freshness. My muscles rippled with strength from countless hours of training, while my skin glowed with a soft, smooth perfection that seemed almost otherworldly. The sight filled me with an undeniable power. Yet, as I gazed at my reflection, an unsettling thought crept in. Caleb's piercing gaze lingered in my mind. Ever watchful, I found myself lost in thought, pondering the depths of his perception of me. What could possibly be going through his mind? How intently did he scrutinize me? A relentless force within me battled to silence these thoughts, yet they surged forth, unstoppable. As I gazed at my reflection, a surge of pride washed over me, captivated by the allure of my own physicality. The way the red underwear hugged my form, enhancing my charm. In a flash, the memory struck me. Caleb emerging from the shower, a mere towel clinging to his form. A sudden flicker ignited in my eyes. Caleb had always possessed an undeniable charm that turned heads wherever he went. He commanded attention with a striking physical presence. Yet, as I began to perceive him in that light, a whirlwind of other emotions started to stir within me. As thoughts of him crept into my mind, a whirlwind of emotions began to stir within me, awakening feelings I never expected to have. What had once been a mere flicker of attraction in my mind now surged through me, igniting a strange resonance within my very being. In an instant, I found myself holding my breath, my gaze locked onto him once more. Yet, amidst the silence, the haunting whisper of guilt crept into my mind. Sebastian stood at the edge of the world, the weight of destiny heavy on his shoulders. He had woven himself into the fabric of my life, a 47-year-old titan of industry, commanding respect and admiration as a successful businessman. He was consumed by his work, leaving no room for me in his life. At times, I find myself wrestling with doubts about my marriage to Sebastian. Were we truly happy, or had I merely grown accustomed to the ache of solitude? I'd finally begun to understand him. Sebastian's gaze had shifted away from me, a flicker of disinterest clouding his once bright eyes. After a grueling business trip, the realization hit me like a thunderclap. He had never truly cared about me at all. I attempted to mend it, yet the familiar warmth had vanished, leaving only a chilling emptiness in its wake. Sebastian was consumed by his work, leaving no room for anything else, not even a moment for me. The evening unfolded like any other, cloaked in the familiar shadows of monotony. Sebastian returned from work, joining us for dinner, yet an unsettling stillness hung in the air, hinting that something was amiss beneath the surface. But then he uttered those fateful words. "We're going to a party tomorrow," he declared. In that instant, it was as if I had stumbled upon the perfect escape, a much-needed reprieve from the relentless storm of thoughts that had consumed me for days. Absolutely, a party, an exhilarating chance to be close to Sebastian. A few weeks ago, when the whispers of the party first reached my ears, I envisioned a night enveloped in intimacy with Sebastian. I could see us together, the air thick with anticipation, as I sought his gaze, igniting a spark of thrill between us. But then, Caleb emerged from the shadows. "I have a flight tomorrow evening," he murmured, a hint of anticipation lacing his voice. "I'm setting off to see a friend. You both venture to the party unaccompanied. When you return, I will have already taken to the skies." Caleb had always been this way. As I reflected on his youthful spirit and the sense of freedom that surrounded him, it became clear how effortlessly he embraced moments like these. Sebastian, consumed by his relentless pursuit of excellence, remained oblivious to the distractions that swirled around him, his mind locked in a battle with the tasks at hand. I stood at the threshold of the party, the music pulsing like a heartbeat, but Sebastian's eyes held a haunting distance, echoing the shadows of the past few weeks. Yet, a deep desire to convey my feelings stirred within me, prompting me to adorn myself with a touch of elegance. As I slipped into the red, form-fitting dress that clung to my curves, I felt a rush of anticipation. Each stroke of makeup transformed my reflection, and I styled my hair with meticulous care, all for the singular purpose of captivating Sebastian's attention. But the aftermath of the party unraveled in ways no one could have anticipated. Despite my best efforts to look stunning, the night I had dreamed of with Sebastian slipped through my fingers. He planned to slip away with his friends, cloaked in the guise of a business meeting, leaving me to face the silence of the empty house alone. Once more, solitude enveloped me, isolated. A fracture deep within me shattered the facade I'd carefully constructed. That night, an inexplicable weight settled upon me, shrouding my heart in a deep sadness I couldn't quite understand. Moments that were meant to be ours vanished like sand in the wind. As I stumbled through the door, the weight of solitude pressed down on me, the haze of alcohol swirling in my mind. A deep sense of fracture coursed through me. As I ascended the stairs, shedding my clothes piece by piece, a wave of anticipation washed over me. After all the careful preparation and the fervent hope of sharing the night with Sebastian, I found myself standing there, clad only in my black lace underwear, the air thick with unspoken promises. My frustration swelled like a storm on the horizon. The red dress hung in the closet, the makeup untouched, a haunting reminder that all was in vain. A profound emptiness enveloped me. In that moment, a surge of anger coursed through me, but alongside it, a desperate realization took hold. I had to find a way to navigate this night that left me feeling so utterly shattered. With a surge of determination, I made my way to the kitchen. Perhaps a drink to soothe the nerves, or a cigarette to chase away the shadows. All I craved was a fleeting moment of peace to gather my scattered thoughts. With a sense of anticipation, I approached the fridge, the cool air brushing against my skin as I poured a generous measure of alcohol into a glass. The familiar ritual beckoned me, and I reached for a pack of cigarettes, the crinkle of the wrapper echoing in the silence. I lit one, the flame flickering to life, casting shadows that danced around me. The acrid smoke clawed at my throat, leaving it feeling raw and battered. Tonight, time seemed to freeze, the world around me suspended in a tense stillness that pressed against my very being. In that instant, the air crackled with anticipation as something utterly unforeseen unfolded. A sudden footstep echoed through the silence, and my gaze snapped to the kitchen door, heart racing with anticipation. In the dim light of the room, a name echoed softly, reverberating with a sense of mystery and anticipation. Caleb. Caleb had returned to the sanctuary of his home. When he returned, confusion enveloped me like a thick fog, and the reason for his presence eluded my grasp. In that fleeting moment, I was utterly paralyzed, caught in a whirlwind of disbelief. My mind had been consumed with the thought of a serene evening spent alone with Sebastian. But the sight of Caleb standing before me sent a jolt through my very core, unraveling the tranquility I had envisioned. Caleb had been set to depart, but fate intervened as his friend's plans took an unexpected turn. His flight was abruptly canceled, leaving him stranded and at the mercy of an unforgiving airport. A thought that had never crossed my mind before. And now, in the dim light of the kitchen, we stood, locked in a gaze that held the weight of unspoken words. There I stood, engulfed in a haze of confusion. There he was, Caleb, standing before me in a way that sent shockwaves through my mind. It was utterly unforeseen. There I stood, draped in black lace lingerie, a sight I would never have imagined myself presenting. Yet that was the moment he stumbled upon me. I inhaled sharply, my gaze deliberately averted from him. A wave of embarrassment washed over me. "I'm sorry, Caleb," I whispered, my voice quaking with emotion. "I had no idea you were here. I never expected it would feel so strange to find you here." I bowed my head, avoiding the piercing gaze that threatened to unravel me. A whirlwind of emotions churned within me, each one battling for expression, yet none could find their voice. Yet Caleb, betraying no hint of surprise, moved in closer with an unsettling calmness. In his eyes, a subtle shift occurred, hinting at secrets untold. He halted, a heavy silence enveloping them, before he finally spoke, his voice laced with concern. "Why are you crying, Vivian? What has you so troubled?" His voice carried an unfamiliar edge, a tone that sent a shiver down her spine. This time, the words resonated with a deeper sincerity, a palpable weight of emotion behind them. His gaze pierced through the layers of my being, as if he could unravel the very essence of my soul. As he drew nearer, a smile crept across his lips, but it was more than just a simple expression. It held a deeper, enigmatic promise. It flickered in his eyes as well. My mind spun in chaos as I sensed in that fleeting moment that he was anything but just. Intriguing opening. The impact was not just physical. It seeped into my very soul, leaving an indelible mark on my emotions. My emotions swirled in a chaotic dance, yet beneath it all, something entirely distinct stirred within me. Caleb's gaze held an undeniable sincerity, drawing me in rather than instilling fear. Compelled by an unseen force, I took a step closer to him. His words twisted like shadows in my mind, deepening the confusion that already clouded my thoughts. As I opened my eyes, a wave of anticipation washed over me. I looked up, and there it was. The sincerity etched on his face, a silent promise hanging in the air. His gaze pierced through the air, wrapping around me like a shroud, making me acutely aware that he was not merely near in body, but deeply intertwined with my very essence. In that fleeting moment, the weight of my shattered self crashed down upon me, a wave of frustration, surging as I realized the night I had envisioned was slipping through my fingers. Tears cascaded down my cheeks, each drop a testament to the turmoil within. As Caleb drew nearer, his voice barely above a whisper, he breathed, "Vivian, do you have any idea just how beautiful you are?" His words washed over me like a wave, bringing a flicker of relief, yet leaving me reeling in disbelief. Prepare the stage. I've observed how Sebastian has been unable to offer you the attention you deserve, consumed as he is by his relentless work, he continued. But you're truly extraordinary and radiant, and you deserve to embrace this night fully. His words wrapped around me like a fragile blanket, offering a flicker of solace, yet the storm of my emotions continued to churn restlessly within. The turmoil within me was so intricate and fierce that standing this close to him seemed to shatter any hope of returning to normalcy. Caleb's eyes were an abyss, drawing me in with an intensity that threatened to swallow me whole. In that instant, time itself felt suspended, and with a deliberate slowness, I edged closer to him, each step heavy with anticipation. Caleb remained motionless, his eyes wide with astonishment as I advanced a step closer to him. His eyes flickered with a transformation, and a whirlwind of emotions surged within me, leaving me bewildered and lost. In that fleeting moment, everything changed. The turmoil within me clashed violently with the insatiable urge to press my lips against his. In that fleeting instant, an overwhelming desire surged within me to bridge the distance between us and surrender completely. In a moment of reckless impulse, I crossed a line I never intended to. The weight of my actions hit me instantly. I closed my eyes, wishing I could erase what had just happened. The guilt was immediate and crushing, and time itself held its breath. My pulse pounded in my ears, a chaotic mix of panic and regret flooding my senses, erasing everything else in a heartbeat. In that moment, the air thickened with anticipation as I sensed Caleb leaning in, his gaze locked onto mine, silently urging me to return his kiss. The heat on my lips revealed the intensity of his reaction, a silent testament to the connection between us. With a deliberate slowness, his hand found its way to my waist, erasing the space that once lingered between us. In an instant, the tangled web of emotions within me transformed into an overwhelming surge of longing. As his breath brushed against me, an undeniable urge compelled me to draw nearer, seeking the warmth of his presence. With urgency, we slipped from the kitchen into the living room, our lips locked in an unbroken embrace. With each step, our bodies crashed against the walls, and in that charged moment, we clung to each other with a fierce urgency. The situation spiraled beyond reason, leaving us both stunned by how quickly things had escalated. In an unexpected twist of fate, we ended up on the couch in the living room, side by side, our breaths mingling in the charged air. Caleb's pants were carelessly abandoned in the kitchen, resting beside the couch, while the evidence of my poor judgment surrounded me, a stark reminder of the line I'd crossed. In that fleeting instant, an unsettling awareness washed over me, Yet I found myself utterly adrift, consumed by the depths of my own disorientation. I opened my eyes and gazed at him, my breaths coming in deep, frantic pulls, acutely aware of how swiftly the situation had spiraled out of control. As the tension mounted, I caught a glimpse of my own reflection and managed a faint smile. His eyes revealed the depth of his feelings for me, a silent testament to the impact I had on his soul. He inhaled sharply, his gaze locking onto mine, and asked, "Vivian, what happened? What drove us to this moment?" With a mix of surprise and a hint of relief coursing through me, I turned to follow his gaze. Words eluded me, yet the weight of silence demanded a response. In that charged instant, it unfolded, I confessed, my gaze darting toward him. Yet, uncertainty lingers in the air. I yearned to release the emotions that churned within me. I believed there was no other way to experience this night. Caleb nodded, his fingers weaving through my hair with a gentle yet electrifying touch. "Is it truly a mistake for us to draw this near?" he inquired. His proximity sent my mind reeling. This wasn't right, and yet I felt powerless to stop it, leaving an indelible mark with every fleeting moment. My breath hitched as his gaze locked onto mine. He inhaled deeply, his gaze locked onto mine as he leaned in, the air thick with anticipation. He started to speak, his words flowing like a river breaking free from its banks. "Betrayed, Vivian." The weight of the words hung heavy in the air, a dark cloud looming over everything I thought I knew. As he spoke, the shadows of his past seemed to lift, replaced by a light that radiated from within. "I was going through a really tough time," he admitted. "But right now I feel completely different." The transformation in his voice was palpable, a testament to the journey he had endured. His voice held a sincerity that caught me off guard, yet it wrapped around me like a comforting embrace. He advanced another step, and I found myself drowning in the abyss of his gaze. In this moment, the distance between us fades, and I can almost reach out and touch the essence of who you are. These emotions catch me off guard, yet I can sense your presence, Vivian. Your presence envelops me, a palpable closeness that sends shivers down my spine. In a whirlwind of feelings, everything collided within me in that fleeting moment. Yet my heart raced with an intensity that felt almost primal. Caleb's words revealed the strange and intricate web of reality. Yet amidst it all, something profound lingered in the air at that moment. The air thickened with tension as I sensed his presence drawing near, each step he took resonating with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. The echoes of my thoughts reverberated within me, stirring emotions I had never felt before. As I locked onto his gaze once more, I whispered, "I was alone, Caleb. Once I felt the weight of solitude pressing down on me. But now, the world around me has transformed in ways I never imagined." For the first time, a whirlwind of emotions swirls within me. Youthful exhilaration mingling with a profound sense of being adrift. A shiver ran down my spine as I spoke, my voice quivering with an unsettling realization. "I feel like something is changing." In that moment, words eluded me, yet the emotions Caleb stirred within me were undeniably vivid and intense. In that moment, the door creaked open, revealing the unknown beyond. A voice echoed through the silence, calling her name. "Vivian." Sebastian stepped through the door, his eyes widening in disbelief as he took in the sight of us both. In that instant, time stood still. Time hung suspended in the air, as if the universe itself had paused to witness the unfolding moment. Caleb and I locked gazes, a palpable tension hanging in the air, our hearts racing as we stood frozen, uncertain of our next move. Sebastian's face was a canvas of shock and anger, as he grappled with the tumultuous emotions swirling between us, desperately seeking to unravel the mystery of our connection. His eyes widened, and time seemed to stand still as he froze, breath caught in his throat. And that was the moment when chaos erupted. "What the hell is going on here?" he growled, his voice thick with fury. In a heartbeat, chaos erupted, and everything spiraled into madness. Sebastian's voice thundered through the air, a tempest of fury that seemed to rattle the very foundations of the house. His eyes burned with a fierce blend of anger and disappointment. "What the hell is going on here?" he demanded. But soon after, It was not merely the question that hung in the air. It was the raw anger and bitterness etched across his face that spoke volumes. With trembling hands, he turned to Caleb, his finger jabbing in accusation. "Leave this place at once. You no longer have a place in this house," he declared, his voice echoing with finality. "She is my wife, the anchor of my soul. She is the one who brought you into this world. She never should have been pulled into this mess. What on earth were you thinking, huh? How could you both turn your backs on me like that?" Silence enveloped me, rendering my voice a mere whisper in the shadows. A wave of disbelief washed over me. My eyes brimmed with unshed tears, yet I held them back in that fleeting moment. Sebastian's accusations hung heavy in the air, each word piercing through me like a dagger, twisting the knife of guilt deeper into my heart. It felt as if the weight of the world rested solely on my shoulders, suffocating me under the burden of his blame. What was I meant to utter? Was I capable of facing the storm of his fury? "Why, Vivian, what on earth possessed you to do this?" Sebastian pressed on, undeterred by the obstacles in his path. "What have I done to deserve this from you? How can anyone possibly come to terms with the devastating loss of both their husband and their son in such a heart-wrenching manner?" Your gaze locked onto mine, and in that moment, you wove a web of deceit. All I felt was a deep fracture within, yet not a single word escaped my lips. My eyes brimmed with tears, a storm of sorrow raging within me. Yet the words remained trapped, unspoken, as if the weight of my sadness silenced my voice. Nothing would ever change. I was aware of that all along. Then Sebastian's voice erupted, filled with frustration. "Oh, come on. Let's go. Leave now." The air thickened with tension as the words hung in the silence, a finality that echoed through the empty halls. "There's no place for you two in this house anymore." The weight of the statement pressed down, leaving no room for denial or hope. He was shoving us out the door, urgency crackling in the air. Caleb and I shared a piercing gaze, the world around us fading into a blur. A heavy silence enveloped us, each of us acutely aware of the turmoil swirling within, yet neither dared to break the stillness. After a moment of silence, Caleb's voice broke through the tension, steady and resolute. "Let's go," he declared, a spark of determination igniting in the air. I nodded, a sense of urgency coursing through me. We needed to escape this place, and fast. As we crossed the threshold into the open air, the tears flowed relentlessly, a torrent of emotion that refused to be contained. The weight of guilt inside me was so immense that even tears could not begin to ease its burden. My mind whirled in a chaotic dance, lost and adrift. I found myself paralyzed by uncertainty, with no clear path ahead, and no destination in sight. Everything unfolded in a whirlwind. In a moment of reckless impulse, I had plunged headfirst into chaos, and now I found myself ensnared in the tangled web of consequences that was rapidly unraveling around me. The weight of being with Caleb, the haunting thoughts of the pain I had caused him, consumed me from the inside out. How could I have possibly let this happen? With trembling lips, I murmured to myself, my hands shielding my face as tears streamed down. A silent storm of sorrow engulfing me. What words escaped my lips when I faced Sebastian? In what ways did I shatter his trust? With each step, the weight of regret sank further into the depths of his soul. Uncertainty gripped me, a heavy fog clouding my thoughts. Yet, deep down, a flicker of hope whispered that these tumultuous feelings would eventually fade, like shadows retreating before the dawn. Caleb pulled away, yet his departure ignited a flicker of hope within me, a fleeting spark that lingered for just a heartbeat. "Take the plunge. Make it happen. Everything's about to change for me," I whispered, my eyes fixed on his retreating figure. I ventured deeper into the currents of time. In the depths of solitude, where shadows loomed heavy, I discovered that even in the darkest moments, a flicker of light awaited to guide me back to hope. In that fleeting moment, I inhaled deeply, unearthing a well of strength that surged within me. I would conquer this challenge. Somehow, I would rediscover the essence of who I truly am. A new beginning awaited on the horizon. If you've journeyed this far, it's clear that the tale has ensnared your imagination. So much awaits to be unveiled, and you won't want to let a single moment slip through your fingers. Be sure to tap that follow button, activate notifications, and share your thoughts on the tale. Your thoughts intrigue me deeply. Let's dive into a conversation in the comments below.